What's up everybody, this is Master Ian Gamer. Since the launch of Overwatch 2, I've had more than my fair share of criticisms about the game, from its hero balance to the monetization structure, and of course, the absolute and total lack of rewards and progression that's available outside of things like the Battle Pass. Well, as easy and fun as it is to simply bash on Blizzard for all their shortcomings, in today's video I want to actually focus a little bit on some ideas for how Blizzard could reasonably fix some of the many issues I have with Overwatch 2 in its current state, since I do of course still really enjoy the game and want to see it succeed to the best of its capabilities. Now before I get into any of the actual fixes, I would like to mention that in this video I want to focus specifically on fixes that I think are both realistic and would be reasonably simple for Blizzard to implement. There are certain things like new heroes being locked in the Battle Pass, which I really do not like, but unfortunately I think Blizzard is pretty settled on that being a thing going forward, so I'm not going to waste my time in this video saying, oh, Blizzard should take heroes out of the Battle Pass, because I don't think that's ever going to happen. It'd be nice if it did, but I want to focus more on realistic changes we could actually end up seeing going forward. And the first change I'd like to bring up is one which I feel absolutely obliged to mention because of how much I've harped on it in the past, and that's map pools. Let's get rid of them. Well, actually, I don't think we even need to get rid of them outright. Certainly when it comes to a map itself being removed from the quick play and competitive rotation in a given season, I think that's a terrible idea. I love Watchpoint Gibraltar, and I'm genuinely upset that it's not here in Season 2. But rather than just saying be gone with map pools entirely, here's my idea for how Blizzard should handle it. Rather than rotating the maps themselves every season, what if they just rotated the time of day for that map? I'm talking have all the maps available every single season, but with each new season, we get a new rotation of times of day. They've already been doing this a little bit with some of the existing Overwatch maps. For example, King's Row and Oasis have thus far been both in seasons 1 and 2, but they had variant times of day that changed from the first season to the second. So if Blizzard really wants seasons to each feel unique and special when it comes to the maps we play in them, then rather than booting people from some of their favorite maps entirely, just mix it up by changing the time of day. Honestly, this is a really simple change, and I'm kind of shocked it isn't the direction Blizzard decided to take with the whole map pools decision. Again, maybe there's some element of certain maps not being finished or optimized for Overwatch 2 yet, which, gets more into the whole technical side of things. But at least when it comes to going forward and reaching a point where presumably all the old maps will be working in Overwatch 2, yeah, stop booting people off their favorite maps on a season-to-season basis, and instead, just change the time of day. It's a nice tweak, it definitely helps to freshen things up, and honestly should be a very simple thing to introduce, especially if Blizzard is already planning on introducing variant times of day for every existing map. Now, moving on from map pools, let's get into some of the more critical stuff that I think a lot of people are going to be much more interested in seeing changed going forward. And first up, let's talk about gameplay rewards. As of Season 2 of Overwatch 2, gameplay rewards in Overwatch 2 are terrible. The only form of progression and reward you can get from playing the game is via the Battle Pass, which of course you have to spend $10 on in order to unlock each season, otherwise you're going to be stuck on just the free Battle Pass track, which gives you basically nothing in terms of content. So, what I would like to see Blizzard do is bring back some of the old forms of progression we had in Overwatch 1. Whether that means bringing back unique player levels and portraits, which I know Blizzard has their whole reason for removing those because of quote toxicity, but there could be other ways of showing a player's progression outside of the Battle Pass. Perhaps they get little cosmetic rewards just from leveling up or getting certain amounts of XP irrelevant of the Battle Pass. Or the more realistic option for this, I think, is to just have coin rewards, whether they get Overwatch Coins or Legacy credits, both of which I'll be talking about more in this video in just a minute. But simply put, there needs to be better progression. If you're a non-competitive player like myself who spends most of their time playing quick play, the Battle Pass is quite literally the only form of progression we have to work on. And while it is nice for what it's worth, getting the levels going up and unlocking little cosmetic rewards along the way, it's certainly not ideal, especially if you're a free-to-play player who isn't going to be getting something at every tier of the Battle Pass. What's worse though even is if you are a die-hard player who spends money on the Battle Pass, gets all the way up to tier 80, and then keeps going beyond it to tier 200 to get all all those titles, because after tier 200 in any given season, there is literally no form of progression. The little number for your battle pass tier goes up every time you level it up through getting XP, but there's no actual tangible rewards that you gain from doing that. This is pretty bad because it's basically a hard cap at the end of every season where players are discouraged from playing anymore during that time frame because there is literally nothing to gain. You aren't working towards some overarching player icon level like you were in Overwatch 1, and you certainly aren't gaining any cosmetics or currencies from doing that. So Blizzard, please add something, and I think the best thing for them to add would of course be giving players currency, which is a great segue into the next big thing I think Blizzard should fix with Overwatch 2, which is making Overwatch coins not so dang difficult to earn through playing the game. As is, any given player can earn up to 60 Overwatch coins per week by completing the weekly challenges, which thankfully in Season 2, Blizzard have adjusted to make the challenges a bit easier to earn, thus it's easier to get all 60 of those coins every week, but you're still capped at just 60 free coins a week, which, if we're all being honest, is not very many. The average legendary skin thus far seems to cost 1,900 Overwatch coins, which means it would take an insane number of weeks for any given player without spending real money to purchase those Overwatch coins to earn enough to actually get a skin they might want. And look, I get it, Blizzard wants to incentivize people to spend real money given that it's a free-to-play game, but even if you compare it to other free-to-play games in the similar genres, Fortnite, Apex Legends, etc., basically all of those games have a more generous way of earning currencies that you can use to purchase cosmetics and other in-game content. For whatever reason, Blizzard decided to be a real stickler and only give out those 60 coins a week, which is why my idea for fixing both the Overwatch coins issue and the lack of progression rewards in the game itself is to just make coins a more frequent reward for playing the game. Sure, leave the weekly challenges as they are, those are fine, but what if you added in another little aspect where every 10 levels you leveled up, either on the free track or the premium battle pass, you would just get 10 Overwatch coins. Again, that's not a whole lot and isn't gonna really accelerate the pace at which you get a legendary skin, but it'll give you something. It'll add a little extra oomph of satisfaction and success for the player to be able to hit that point every 10 levels and feel like they're getting a little bit closer to unlocking a cool new skin. And what's more is that by having it based on specifically the number of levels you've gone up as opposed to hitting a specific level, is that you can continue to earn these Overwatch coins as you advance beyond tier 200 of the battle pass. Dedicated players who spend hours upon hours every day playing this game and easily hit tier 200 well before the end of the season will then still have a reason to keep playing the game, because even if it's a minuscule amount, they'll still have progression they can earn through getting those coins, which over time will add up and let them get new skins. Heck, they could even make it 1 Overwatch coin you earn for every 10 tiers you go up. Just anything, any minuscule sense of progression beyond tier 200 to give players any reason whatsoever to keep playing, as opposed to the state the game is in currently, where there is literally zero reason to keep playing beyond tier 200. And I'm sure the exact numbers for coins and number of levels you might have to level up before you get your coin payout can easily be varied and tweaked based on whatever Blizzard feels is appropriate, but implementing some sort of rewarding system like this I think is crucial for keeping players engaged with the game in the long-term time frame, and will especially be good at helping newer free-to-play players who are maybe jumping into the game for the very first time and thus don't have a backlog of legacy credits and other cool skins and cosmetics from having played Overwatch 1. Now, speaking of legacy credits, this is the next big thing I'd like to touch on, because currently, as they exist in game, legacy credits kinda suck. If you're someone like me who played a ton of the original Overwatch and got basically every single cosmetic from the original game, then you probably have a ton of legacy credits stacked up. So for someone like me, it's easy to just buy the new base highlight intros and skins for new heroes like Junker Queen and Ramatra as they come out, because I have a ton of legacy credits and nothing else to spend them on. However, what if you're a player who did play Overwatch 1 and thus does have a significant number of legacy credits stacked up, but you didn't necessarily buy everything back from the original Overwatch. Maybe you were only partially invested with Overwatch at the time, and thus you didn't focus on getting every single skin in the same way an obsessed ball main like myself might have, but you still want to be able to actually spend those legacy credits on something interesting. Let's say you even just want to spend it on old Overwatch 1 skins that are still in the game in Overwatch 2. Well, currently as it stands, you can't even do that. You have to spend Overwatch coins even if you're buying an old Christmas or Halloween themed skin as they show up in the shop. This to me is ridiculous. I don't know why Blizzard would do it this way when it's an old skin coming back into the shop, and the best fix for it is to let players spend legacy credits to get these skins. Technically, this is something that players could have done in the final months leading up to the launch of Overwatch 2, where Blizzard made the entire vault of Overwatch cosmetics available to purchase once again, much like how the old anniversary events used to work, only to then hard cut off veteran players' ability to get those skins with legacy credits once Overwatch 2 actually launched. So while I think it's fine for Blizzard to even leave in the idea of winter-themed skins only coming back around during winter-themed events and that sort of thing, if it's a skin from Overwatch 1, just make it buyable with legacy credits. Like, all you're doing is screwing over the Overwatch 1 players who didn't happen to spend all their legacy credits at the end of Overwatch 1 and are now being punished for saving them and bringing them over into Overwatch 2. That to me just seems completely unnecessary and a terrible decision. So yeah, make all Overwatch 1 skins purchasable with legacy credits. I don't see any reason why you shouldn't be able to do that. Now, if Blizzard wanted to get really generous, they might even add in methods to earn legacy credits in Overwatch 2. Admittedly, it is kind of weird that there's this whole currency system, being the legacy credits, that is completely unearnable in this version of the game and only exists so that Blizzard wouldn't just screw over people who had a ton of credits back in Overwatch 1. So maybe they could introduce some little thing where like certain challenges give you legacy credits or something like that. But if I'm being totally honest, I don't even really think that's necessary. If Blizzard were just to introduce more player-friendly methods of earning the new Overwatch coin currency, then I think Blizzard could honestly just leave legacy credits as they are. You don't necessarily need to be able to earn them going forward because there won't really be a use for them going forward, since it seems Blizzard's end goal really is to just sort of shift everyone from the credits onto the coins. And again, the only reason legacy credits still exist is because Blizzard wanted to give something to the veteran players. And the last major thing I'd like to address when it comes to monetization and currencies and the battle pass specifically is to make the amount of currency it takes to purchase the battle pass earnable through playing through a battle pass in any given season. Again, this is something that basically every other game with a battle pass has been doing for years, and yet for whatever reason, Blizzard decided they didn't want to do that with the Overwatch 2 battle pass. It doesn't even have to be through earning coins specifically at tiers throughout the battle pass. It can be through side challenges like the existing weekly challenges, only add more of them so we can actually afford the new battle pass when it comes every season, instead of affording every other battle pass as it is currently. Again, this even very well ties back into what I mentioned earlier with the idea of every 10 tiers you just automatically get a couple coins, as Blizzard could then balance that number such that maybe earning 80 tiers worth of level up coins in combination with the weekly challenge coins would then give you the 1,000 coins necessary each season in order to buy that next season's battle pass. I will admit, it does seem very strange to me that Blizzard has foregone this status quo when it comes to battle passes and earning the currency used to actually purchase them. So Blizzard, I don't care how exactly you do it, please just find some way to make it reasonable to buy one battle pass from having completed the one previous. Basically, any system would be better than what it is now in that regard. Beyond these things I've talked about here thus far in the video though, I don't think there really are that many things which I would focus on saying Blizzard needs to fix. Sure, there's always going to be issues with balance, and I know the people who play a lot of competitive currently have a lot of issues with how that's structured, but since I don't play competitive, I don't really feel qualified to talk about what Blizzard should or shouldn't do when it comes to the SR system and the way ranks are earned. And when it comes to things like hero balance, I'm not really going to talk about that in this video just because it's constantly changing. If I were to say, oh, Doomfist is too powerful or too weak or who knows what he is, that could easily become irrelevant almost immediately after I publish this video, so I'm not going to bother talking about hero balance at all here. I want to specifically focus focus on these sort of core design aspects of Overwatch 2 itself, particularly when it comes to cosmetic and monetization systems, and also some of the more, content-focused aspects like map pools, and share my thoughts on how Blizzard should change those into a much more player-friendly experience, while also being what I would consider reasonably simple and straightforward fixes to actually implement. At this point, I am still quite hopeful that Blizzard will be listening to all of our feedback in the community and gradually making changes for the better as time goes on, but for the time being, we can always just hope for the best, and I'd love to hear your ideas for how to fix Overwatch 2 by dropping a comment down below. Do you have any specific ideas about monetization systems and cosmetics and how they could become more player-friendly? Or maybe you have your own ideas about things like competitive and what Blizzard should do to change those. As always, I would love to hear your thoughts, and thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, hit up that bell icon, and come join my Discord server to hang out and never miss any of my future Overwatch content. Special thanks to my YouTube channel members who help make these videos possible, and if you'd like to join them to earn some cool rewards, then just hit that join button down below. Otherwise, this is Master Ian Gamer signing off, and until next time, have a great day.